Show the name.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today. Divine Dabblings with,
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
I'm going to tune this down a little bit. This one's,
Yes, because it's obviously making one of us spastic.
yeah, I think so.
Look, the throngs await us.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here with Thursday nights. Maybe we'll have to go down to one show in the summer. I know somebody who would like that.
I know somebody who would like that.
All right. Well, enough with goofing up with each other
Pleasantries.
here.
Pleasantries.
For the pleasantries. Okay. Well, at any rate, I do have a card for the collective here somewhere. Hope everybody is doing well. Kyle, it is really comfortable here. They're expecting rain, but rain keeps fizzling out in our area. Every day I'm hearing, oh, the clouds came and then they just disappeared. And so I don't know what's going on with our weather. It's just like we're not getting the rain we should be. Other people are getting dumped in the country. I just saw some pictures out of San Antonio, and that looked horrible. So I just don't get it. All right, well, we're going to be using. Did I want to use this one again? I am going to use. Wait a minute. No, I'm not. I'm going to use the Midnight Sun. Okay, it's the Midnight Sun Sunman card. All I had to do is say I'm going to use the Midnight Sun, and Sunny arrives. Ooh, there's something on your cards there.
Yeah, it's tail.
Hmm. All right. No. Tim, sorry. What you got? I can't. Oh, Bright Night. Oh my gosh. What?
That's the one we had the other
He
day.
pulled that out at random. That was one of our cards for the collective
Was that
recently.
Sunday?
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday?
Yep, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I thought it was on a show we did it.
No, you can check. Oh, except, yeah, it's probably in the photos. But anyway, Bright Night. Enchanting. Discovery. Midsummer is a celebration of the summer solstice, the date when the sun is the longest and the night the shortest. The farther up north you go, the longer amount of daylight you will experience. And in some parts, the sun barely goes down before it starts to rise again. To experience this is truly mesmerizing. As the opposite happens in the winter months, where it's almost constantly dark, this phenomenon brings out energies of enchantment and positivity, allowing you to focus on the most magical aspects of your life right now and see them acknowledged and enjoy them even more. If you have experienced a period of darkness, know that brighter times will come and the dark cycle shall end. Hang in there and try to focus on the positive things you know for certain that you have or that are to come to you. This card may also be an indication that something has been hidden from you for a while and it's about to come to light. Where I saw that. It may be a new perspective that helps you to stay positive or to see more clearly and in detail, and that will help you know where to go next. Know that there are positive times ahead, regardless what you may have just discovered. Yes, I had this on Wednesday. I remember this because I was talking about, lighter days coming. So, and at least until the solstice anyway, here, later days are coming, literally. But figuratively, it's talking about things easing up a little bit. Maybe, some of the darkness dispels and gives us a little bit of a break. I remember saying in my card for the collective, I'm hoping it sticks around for a while because a lot of us could certainly use a break from some of the craziness going on.
All right. Yes, indeed. The midnight sun. Hail the midnight sun.
That's what we have for the collective. Good luck with that. Hi, Naya. And hi, Country Love. Good to see you, Kara. Whoa, everybody piled in there.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you. Helping fill out our list for the evening. All right, so we've got Kara, Country Love, and Naya. All right. And let me get the list out there.
We are adding you, Naya. Yep.
Here you
As
are.
well as Kara and Country Love. All
Yep.
you guys are on there. There's the list. Libra's up first, followed by Lena, Kyle, Kara, Country Love, and Naya.
And you've got a deck. Libra would like a general reading.
Alrighty, so I have my Deviant Moon Tarot right here. Ooh. Well, it
Okay.
took us incredibly long time to get to the 800 people we have now, so I don't know what to tell you.
But we will
Be in it
see
for
what
the long haul.
the cards have to say.
Of course. Hi,
And
Nada.
I don't want to rain on any YouTubers parade because some people that I followed from very, very tiny ballooned out like that. They got tons of subscribers right away. And so it just depends what people are looking for, and you know, we realize sometimes our reach might be limited. We're kind of old. And so a lot of people are looking for the younger, newer talent. I get that. But we're going to keep on keeping on.
Hi, Nada. Right there at the end, you can add them.
Oh,
General.
Nada. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was Naya again. I'm like, I
No,
added.
I mentioned it twice.
Let's see.
Alrighty. General reading for Libra. And the first card is the upright Queen of Pentacles. And then it's the upright Seven of Swords. It's a very clever image because they're like a juggler, just like the Fool's juggler in a way.
Oh, is that the Deviant?
Yeah.
Deviant Moon. Oh, wow.
Sword swallowing.
Yes.
It's kind of cool.
And what else?
The last one's upright too. It is the upright Three of Wands.
Wow, I think Libra.
Or is that the Empress? I think it's the Three of Wands, but maybe it's the Empress.
Can I see which one is that? Is that the.
That's the Seven of
Yeah,
Swords.
so does that have Roman numerals? It does. This is definitely the Three of Wands.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I kind of thought.
So, okay. So this is kind of an interesting read, Libra. I think this is a time for you to kind of lay low right now. Lay low, take care of your own needs and concerns, and start thinking about, maybe making plans for the future or, even for the next week ahead. But I would say, in particular, like maybe this weekend, from here going forward, is a good time to just relax, lay low, maybe observe things from behind the scenes if you have to. I know that there are other connotations for that Seven of Swords, but I'm kind of fitting it in with the Queen of Pentacles here. I think this is just a time to conserve your energy, for when it's going to be needed later to put some plans, implement some plans, put some plans in motion.
Well, it almost feels like, there are some things going on that maybe if you figure out something, you might be able to take advantage of an opportunity. So, to some degree, there's something that maybe you need to find out that maybe someone is sort of, not exactly being forthcoming with it. Maybe it's something you just need to know. Maybe it's an actual, situation that would help you somehow garner into this opportunity. In general, though, like you're asking for, hi Zach, for the Queen of Pentacles looks at you as saying this is a time also to consider projects or things around your home. So that's why I'm getting that feel there, like maybe something is going to happen, but you may not know about it unless you kind of use your own guiles and wiles.
Okay, I've got Zach. I like what you're saying there, and it's really interesting when I'm looking at, well, some of the stuff you've been saying there, because this is what I've got here. The first one was that.
Okay, it's the fish and the fox.
Well, I wonder if there is something you need to know. I'm thinking about the fox and maybe somebody in your circle of friends, or family, looking at the fish is thinking abundance of people maybe around you. That somebody may have some clever ideas or things they might share they if you can get them to talk because that's the seven of swords there. As Mr. O said, if you could kind of figure something out here, maybe somebody else has something to share or could offer you some advice, but I think you're kind of going to have to nudge it out of them somehow. It could be beneficial to you in some way. It could definitely benefit you and help move some of your projects or plans along. What do you think about that?
So the Lenormand is kind of supporting the view I set forth there in a way too that there may be something that could bring something to you that is abundance. I don't know if it's necessarily financial or material abundance, but maybe it could be another kind of abundance, a greater provide of something that you don't currently have or something you'd like to have. So it could be love, or it could be, maybe you're freaking out on spring plants. Maybe, you want to grow a garden, but there's this edge of having to provide a little bit of cleverness there somehow.
Yeah, the fox's cleverness or craftiness or ingenuity, it can be sneakiness. I can't rule that out either here. That I'm just thinking here, you may have to kind of like get some information out of somebody in order to move forward with your goals. Somebody is not being upfront. It may not be for any nefarious reasons because I really don't see that here. So I think that this is a time maybe to look after your own concerns and get the information you need to be able to move forward with a project or goal that you want to do. And I think others are involved in this in some way. Somebody can either help you out or give you some ideas.
Hi, Fire Spawn. Happy Pride indeed. And we are going to add you. Also, Ari has dropped in too.
I've got
Ari
Ari
is
already.
already. So, hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight.
Ari's on the list. Fire Spawn is now too.
And as usual, if you think you might leave, you should add your question
Whoops.
before you do so.
Let me do that.
It's helpful to us.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I hope that was helpful, Libra.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a strange one,
That
this
one was a
reading.
little different. There were some kind of disparate cards there in a way.
Yep. All right, we're on Lena.
And Lena wanted a love reading for the next couple months, I believe.
Next 3 months.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Okay. Well, I brought out My Raven's Dream Tarot again by MJ. Cool name. It's a beautiful deck. But it's big cards. Yet I need room to shuffle.
So I'm sorry to hear that, Zach. We'll see what we can give you. We have visited Toronto a number of times.
Yeah, I used to call it my home away from home. I love
We
Toronto.
liked it so much. We've probably been there at least 7 or 8 times, I think. It's close enough to take a train, so that's what we used to do from the Detroit area.
Okay. All right, well, Lena. Sheesh. Start with the tower upright.
Great.
We got
Great
another
way to
major
start a love
arcana
reading.
here. The Hanged Man is reversed. And the Ace of Cups is reversed.
We are sorry.
Well, and I don't mean to laugh or make light. Let's get the rest. It's just,
You're welcome, Zach.
ooh, I didn't want to start like that with the
All right, so the first Lenormand is the letter, and the key.
wow.
Those always kind of go nice together.
So this is really weird as far as love goes in the next 3 months. Well, I'm not going to say there's going to be nothing, but I think what might happen is that if something happens and develops with an individual, it may crash and burn, so to speak. In other words, it just may, be one of those learning experiences for you, whether you find out you're just totally incompatible with this person or that they do something to blow up the relationship. Maybe they've decided you weren't right for them. I just get this feeling here, and I think it might be. I don't want to say it's totally a clash of egos here, but it might be involving somebody who has some ego problems, that they think a lot of themselves, and they that's why maybe this is occurring. They're unwilling to compromise any of their beliefs or feelings about how things should go in a relationship, and maybe that's what the problem is. I'll stop with those two.
Well, when I saw the tower, a song came to mind. And it was a song I don't know well, but I just sort of remember the title. I don't even
Oh,
remember
good.
who it
So you
is.
can't sing it?
I don't even remember who it is. It's either John Bon Jovi or some hair band. Your love is like bad medicine.
Oh, gosh.
So the tower represents the idea of a bad medicine, in my metaphor here, the idea that maybe you really want it to be great, but it's just going to crash and burn. And it's important that you understand, what the steps were that led to that, perhaps. This may be feeling like really the situation really is better because you did get away from it. I'll let you go on now.
Yeah, well, I did this card already, the
You
Hanged
did?
Man,
All
because I
right.
kind of combined it.
I see. So when I look at the hangman, then it does feel like, there's something that holds you there in a way to the burning pattern. And so you're not willing to necessarily let it go, to give it up in a way, but I think you do because of the tower. So some of this may be rooted in your own insecurity. You may be feeling like, in that eternal question, are you better off with them or without them? You might decide that maybe you are better off in this relationship because it is something that you want.
Well, it is reversed. So I don't know. I looked at it a
I'm
little bit
flexible there.
differently, but I see why you said that. I do see why you said that. I think that this person just has some huge ego issues and it's going to blow things up. Now, going back to why I feel that way is because the Ace of Cups is here reversed too. It's like, I feel like maybe, hopefully, Lena, what this is meaning is that this relationship won't go too far, so you before this happens, so you won't be too hurt by this, because also you're going to realize that this just wasn't right for you here. And the key is with the
Communication.
communication, and I think what you find out through what you get to know about this person.
Right, I agree with Banshee on the Ace of Cups. It just feels like it's a short-lived,
Yeah.
dramatic, and best to be done with it. The idea of whether or not you give up on it or whether you decide,
Or they drop you.
right, is mutable. I mean, I just sort of see a couple of ways that could work out. But I think ultimately you're going to realize, and what you may hopefully learn from it, is that you needed to spend a little more time getting to know them before letting it get too serious. And of course, sometimes you just only learn by playing the game.
True that. True that, Mr. O. That's what we have for you, Lena. Good luck with that.
Good
Something
luck, Lena.
more upbeat, definitely. All right, we're on Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Kyle wants to know what the next 7 days can bring. All right. So, what will I use? I'm going to use the Secrets Tarot because, of course, we don't know right now. So, in a sense, it is a secret. And it's one of my favorite decks. It really is. I read from this deck another copy I had for years, probably about a good 10 years in the early part of the century. It was one of my favorite reading decks. And then I tragically immersed
Destroyed it.
immersed it in liquid,
It was an accident.
like most of my things. What are the next 7 days going to bring to Mr. Kyle?
Oh, I got these two together. I guess they're the ones.
Well, we start off with the King of Swords, but it's reversed. Boy, we move to Strength, but it's reversed too. I'm sorry, Kyle. And then our last card is also reversed, and it's the Queen of Wands.
Holy moly. So is that the Knight of.
It's the King.
Oh, it's the King of
It
Swords.
is.
Ah. All right. All right. Well, there's different ways to read that king, and I think I'm onto it.
Hi,
The,
Karima. Yeah, we can add you.
the king, strength, and what was that? The Queen of Swords?
Queen of
Queen
Wands.
of Wands
Mhm.
reversed. All right. I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to add Garima to the list.
All right. So the next 7 days may find you feeling, any way you make a decision, you may feel really wrong about it. And you may feel like there's something you're trying to force. Maybe it's a decision, but the amount of force you put into it may backfail. If you're trying to get somebody to agree with you or to decide something that maybe you feel is in their best interest, but they haven't been totally convinced, perhaps, this could be what this is alluding to. And sometimes, that King of Swords could just be you deciding you're going to make this decision even though you realize others won't appreciate it. But then finally, so I've gone all the way through them in a way. The Queen of Wands reversed maybe indicates that you're going to feel in this action that you stake out for yourself not as secure or not as settled in that role, that you may feel like it wasn't your best moving away. You don't feel like it puts you in the best light. You're not feeling as confident of where you ended up going or your actions maybe in trying to convince others or any of what that might be.
This is an interesting reading, Kyle. I think here, if you are really not confident about something, not assured, your mind a little bit foggy this week, it's not a good idea to rush a move or action or decision if you're not fully prepared or confident in where it's going to lead you. I mean, sometimes it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to go out and do something, even though you don't know. That's the Fool card, right? The Fool card is all about that. But this is saying, take a moment and step back and make sure you are totally all in on this. The Queen of Wands shows to me reversed some uncertainty or a lack of confidence or courage to pull something off. And the King of Swords is kind of this foggy, maybe aggressive a little bit behavior. I'm a little worried about him and
The
strength
strength's
reversed
rubbing off on
together.
him.
Well, that, yes, that there's this aggressive need to move something forward, even though you haven't really thought all of this through. And maybe this needs a little bit more time. And to add to that, let me show what the Lenormand came up with. This was first.
It's the writer.
Yes, it is. See that urge to move again, but where?
Ah, we have so many choices.
It's the crossroads, which indicates there must be, you're not, if you are sure of your direction and you're positive of what you're doing, you're more clear headed than the cards are indicating here, then make the move, then make the move. But the crossroads can also indicate that there's still some decision making that needs to be done here, some thought that needs to be put into what either the consequences of an action are going to be, or a move of some sort, or words or things that you want to say. In particular, with that King of Swords, I'd be careful, if you're confronting somebody or some situation verbally, on how you handle that. So, a few different admonitions there, I'm afraid. I wish you
Right.
luck
It
with that.
almost feels like, in a way, if you can find a choice that maybe is a little less provocative, or if this is about making a decision or getting others to see a decision you like, that maybe you might want to try a more passive route there somehow. Um, or this just isn't the time. Maybe there's something
Yeah,
astrological going on, and maybe in a week or two, it might be better to ask these questions or try for these choices again.
I like that. I like that. Because I do think, this is just a temporary thing this week. Just maybe harder to pull things together.
I wish some of the other kitties could take over like this one, but he is a charmer, that's for sure. Thank you.
The
All right.
channel kitty takes over. Yes, he does.
All right.
He's so soft today. His fur is really soft.
I hope that was helpful, Kyle.
Well, good luck with that, Kyle. Wish we had some better cards there.
It almost sounds like Mercury retrograde. Like, don't make a decision yet. It might not be the right time.
Okay, I
But
did
I know
add
it's not.
to the list, and Kara is up. And I've got
Hi,
my
Kara.
Flower Child Tarot for you, Kara. Unless you wanted an oracle. Okay. What hidden gifts? Okay.
Oh,
We
that's a loaded question there, Ari.
can do that.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Hey, tell your mom you're getting a card reading from someone who's been in jail, like about 1976,
Sunny.
and it was all wrong. Could I have the Lenormand?
No, I'm quick to respond.
Well, I just need a certain kind of object, and then I would be quick to respond too. I get it. Okay, that's fine. I think I like this question better. It's got a little more juice to it.
All right. Hidden gifts to scare I
Excuse me. It says cat hair flying around.
have. It's the Ace of Cups upright. I love this combination in a way. I think they kind of go together. It's Temperance reversed, but we'll talk about that. And holy cow. Well, too bad you didn't ask a yes or no question. Because you got another ace upright, ace of
Oh, and
swords.
look at that. So, your hidden gifts. Is that like a treasure at the bottom of the sea? Because here's your anchor. Oh, but maybe it is a treasure. There's a ring. I don't know.
Oh, that's really
The ring and
bizarre.
the anchor.
Well, Kara, you've got a lot of hidden gifts. Are you really hiding it? Bring it out. Show that love to people. Show that love. You have the ability to make people feel good about themselves. You have the ability to bring joy into, people's lives. There's a lot of love here. You have a lot of love to share. So, and I can't believe that's so hidden. If it is, it needs to come out more. But I think that you are very you have a talent here also for maybe more creative kind of pursuits. I would also say maybe some intuitive pursuits, using your imagination and you do drawing and stuff from time to time, right? So you use your imagination to come up with some great creative projects. I think that some of that could be a hidden talent as well.
So, Kara, maybe temperance reversed represents the dichotomy between two gifts that maybe don't balance all the time, and that's why they're hidden. One is this propensity to see the world through rose colored glasses to some degree, love, love, love. When you're crossed, if you're a Taurus like Scorpio,
Uh-oh.
we know what happens. You're my dark twin, wink, wink. But then the other propensity is the Ace of Swords, the ability to challenge truth, to challenge justice or injustice, rather, the ability to try to be the victor or the person who wins the day, a brave victor. And so the hidden gift is because you don't balance them exactly. You sort of go a little bit this way, then maybe you go a little bit that way, and maybe that's what the hidden gift is the sense of where the balance is or should lie within yourself.
Do you want to do the Lenormand too since you did them up?
No, I don't. I want to go get me something to drink.
Why don't you?
I will then.
Go. Okay. So, as I was saying when I just covered the Ace of Cups, it's about love. Jeez. It's about sharing joy with others, doing joyful things. I think here that maybe you suppress some of the things that you could be doing to bring you more joy. I think that's part of that. I think with temperance here, you had a drink all along.
I just remembered.
Anyway, with temperance reversed here, I had a different thought. I had the thought that, your hidden gift is kind of this combination here, this bringing of joy and maybe levity to people who need it. To people who need it, who may be stressed, who may be anxious, who may be, too much into the serious side of life. You can bring some levity and joy to the situation. I think that's something very valuable here. And the Ace of Swords to me, I think, is another hidden gift. I think that one is this idea of spontaneously coming up with something new to do, whether it's to change your hair, whether it's to, do a new art project, whether it's to do something new on social media. You get these spontaneous epiphanies that help you, just bring something new to light here. Some of them hit, some of them don't. I also have another gift from the Ace of Swords, and I feel that this one is that you have the ability to truly discern. Right from wrong, truth from lies. I think here you know how to cut to the chase and get to the heart of matters so that you're not deceived by others. You're a level headed Taurian, right? When you're not what Mr. O claimed, the revenge Taurian.
Yes, I always like that one shot of Xena with her sword, like she's ready to lick the blood off of the blade.
Hi, Paisley. Yeah, like your werewolf Hello Kitty, right? Different things. Come up with use that spontaneity. And if you're not gonna follow up on an idea right away that comes into your beady brain there, you know what? Write it down. Write it down for a later date, and you may decide that that's the right time to do it.
So the Lenormand is like you're committed to staying in place. And although that sounds sort of like, maybe boring, I'm thinking it's talking more of a spiritual thing too. Like maybe this is saying, this is your time to be here on the earthly plane at this time because there are these great things that can happen, once you realize or begin using your hidden talents.
Well, here's the thing. I looked at that commitment thing. I mean, it's really clear here, anchor, being stuck in place, commitment, sticking to something. Is that something that's hidden that you need to bring out more? In other words, some of these things may be talents of yours, but they're hidden because you're not willing to make the commitment to totally use these talents. So I think, in a way, commitment is another hidden talent, but it's hidden. You really need to maybe commit more to doing some of these things and following through on some of those great ideas, or writing them down so you don't kick yourself later for forgetting them. And also, bringing joy and happiness to others, because I get the feeling here that it will bring you joy as well.
Well, good luck then.
Good luck with that.
Hey, Paisley, I see you there.
Yep, already said hi to Paisley. And I've got her on the list. And it's Country Love's
All
turn.
right. Country love. I'm going to look at your question again.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay. And of course, if it doesn't come out with a clear answer, we'll try to use a yes or no to define it better. All right.
Well, I guess I'll look it up. I didn't hear you say the
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry. It was the question about her YouTube channel.
Oh,
She's dedicated herself to building the YouTube channel this month uh, while she's healing her leg. How will it go? Do we see subscribers and engagers building up soon?
let's see what we get. All right. Yeah, I remember that now. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Sonny, son, everybody loves you. Everybody. Just don't get your hair on my computer. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I've been going to Llewellyn-Con, which is a virtual conference that publisher Llewellyn does, and we have a lot of their authors doing 30-minute sessions. There's 4 sessions per day, and if you go to Llewellyn Books website, you will be able to sign up. It's all free, and they also have some great giveaways. You can enter contests to win books, or there is one tarot deck I think that's being given away this year. It's mostly books this time. Hmm.
King of Pentacles upright. Knight of Pentacles upright.
Well, I'm glad you have good cards because I don't.
Page of Wands reversed.
Okay, that's telling.
We
And
can
that
work
might
with this.
explain this then.
It's the letter returning triumphantly and the mice.
Nah.
Well, there's something nibbling the edges of the letter, I think.
It's not that bad, actually. I want you to know that. So, this is country love, right? Country love, you know, you got some good,
Yeah, look at that King and
you
Knight
got
of
some growth
Pentacles.
here. You know, you've got that, is that's the king?
Yes.
The King of Pentacles and the Knight. You know, you just got to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. Make sure you've got everything together the way you want. The King of Pentacles is organized, organized, organized. Make sure everything is under control. Make sure everything is a go. And you're perfectly capable of doing that, obviously, being that this is the King. So just make sure that that is true, that you are operating as this King of Pentacles who's just on top of it all. The Knight of Pentacles to me is indicating that, yeah, okay, I think that you can expect slow but steady growth from your channel. It's
Nice.
not necessarily going to happen right away because you've got what, the Page of Wands, was that right?
Hmm.
The Page of Wands is reversed here. That could also tie into this here. So, what I'm wondering here is when I see, I'm just going to go for it, the mice and the letter could be indicating to me that you might have a little bit of trouble getting your message out initially, getting, the promotion out or getting enough people to see you, to see you out there. But I think that in time, there's going to be some growth here and you're going to have it pretty much together. It looks really good.
I don't think this tells us how soon or when, but I
Yeah.
agree with Banshee. I feel this is about growth for you. The King of Pentacles itself seems to act like there's going to be some benefits here going on, or that the way you manage it will be very important. The management of this, but I think Banshee's right. Page of Wands in the letter, that's a double whammy saying communicate this, figure out the best way to communicate, spread the information. The Knight of Pentacles is indeed about a slower growth, but it's about a steady growth. It's
Yeah.
sort of like a building growth. It's not real fast and then all of a sudden it drops and then you're trying to recoup. The mice indicates that some of this will have small minor frustrations for you, at least in the beginning.
Mr. O, being a Scorpio, is a chaos agent. And sometimes that works great and sometimes it doesn't, but that's just it. He always likes to change things up to generate audience interest. Like, for example, in his shows. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I'm looking at the cards that I'm seeing here, what do you know about the Page of Pentacles, Mr. O?
The Knight of Pentacles?
I meant the Knight. I'm sorry. What do you know about the Knight?
Uh,
Like slow and steady progress. Something else he likes routine. He
okay.
likes things that are kind of, so what I would just suggest is make sure that some,
Don't be like Mr. O.
I didn't say that. I did not. But the but I'm thinking you're just starting out. So you want to make things as smooth and as easy as possible for you. So if you've got a certain, let's say, what is those programs you used? What are they called? Um, Not iMovie, but the other one
To do what?
to do different things. What's the thing you use? OBS. If you've
Oh,
got
that's
different
just a
softwares
podcast.
that you're using to generate videos or your page, just make sure that you've got all the procedures down and that it's simple, that it's like easy to just set things up right away so you can get to the meat of your programming, which is the most important part. That's what I'm thinking of here. Have procedures, have things that just make everything flow smoothly. That's what I'm seeing.
Well, this seems like a good moment for me to tell everybody that tomorrow my emotional exchanges is going to be a little different. I'm going to have the regular show. It might promote a little bit later. It might come out a little bit later. But I've decided to cut up each of the signs of the zodiac, and it's like just a quick 2-minute run for each of them. They'll debut tonight at midnight, and it's for the week ahead, and it's my typical reading, but each video is dedicated to Aries, Pisces, whoever.
Yeah, I just want to add something, Country, after he was talking about something you said there, and I think here that it's kind of like how we do our cards of the day for the collective on our social media. We have a template all set up. We draw the cards on one day, and then we, during the week, will interpret the cards. So if you have a routine to whatever it is you're doing, it makes things a little smoother and easier for you.
True dat.
True that.
Well, good luck to you, and maybe we'll be partners on that station or
He has no
subscribers.
shame, country. He has no shame.
Yes, I'm doing a striptease on my next Oberon. No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Naya is up, and don't worry, the cat is gone, but the cat will be back. Just going for a food break, I'm sure. I dropped a tile, Mr. O, and I'm not sure I'm
If
gonna
you can
be
get it,
able.
okay, I'll get it.
I
Hold
might
on.
be able to. Okay, I dropped a second tile. There, I got them both.
Do you have them?
Okay, yes, I do.
All right.
All right. Okay,
It's Naya.
Naya is up, and I think they posted a question, but I'm not sure.
Naya, Naya usually asks the question as soon as we mention it's their turn, because I don't see the question here yet.
Oh, okay.
So, Naya, it is your turn. Go ahead and add your question. Or,
Yeah, we'll give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. I'm going to grab a deck anyway because it'll be my deck, whoever's turn.
yeah, well, we plug all our shows shamelessly or otherwise.
And once you get your YouTube,
You're cutting me off.
I did. Once you get your YouTube channel established, be sure to post the link in our chat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And we'll subscribe, of course.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my regular show, the Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, will premiere in its entirety. It will still be time stamped, so you can watch that show. And of course, it's a reading for each sign of the zodiac, a top card and a bottom card. One gives you the vibe coming to you, emotional wise. The other is, will you be lucky in love, romance, etc. And this show is also being rebroadcast earlier as shorts, as reels that you can see on your phone or, that other device that they use for that.
Last call for
Naya.
Naya. Also, we're getting pretty close, I think, to fourth quarter moon, and our monthly modality message will be
That's right.
coming out in a week. So we're going to have some extra programming coming out soon.
The sun will be moving into Cancer.
Yes, happy birthday to the Cancers.
Okay, I think Naya didn't leave their questions, so they may come back. We'll just have to see.
Well, I'm not going to put them on the list again, and they may have lost it. We'll see how it goes.
And that may be the way we end up going, depending that if people don't leave their question,
They will be at the end of the list at any rate
yeah, they'll just
if
come
they
back
come
in and be
back.
at the end.
Yeah. Okay,
All
so
right, so
Nana's up. I hope you're
Nana's up, and Nana has a question. It's general on health.
general on health.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
The rest of our week is pretty much normal. There will be a happy hour this week, and it's going to be at its regular time of 10 a.m. So come on down, get a single card draw from either tarot or oracle, and get a positive, uplifting spiritual message for the day or the week. It's our happy hour at 10 a.m. Saturday morning.
All right. So is it
What?
the question again?
Health general.
General health. That's it. I knew it was general, and then I'm like, general what again? Okay, general health. All right. We have the Knight of Swords upright. Oh, I like this. We have the Six of Swords upright. Wow. And you have the Three of Swords reversed. Well, Nada, let's take a look at the Lenormand too before I get into this.
It's the bear and the book. So
Okay,
I'm getting a little bit of a picture here.
sure. I think here that I don't know. Are you facing surgery or anything? I'm just asking because, well, you may not be here, but at any rate, the Knight of Swords makes me wonder if you're worried about surgery, or you're maybe scheduled for surgery or some sort of treatment. Usually, when I see the swords, I think about cutting kind of surgical procedures.
It could also be that whatever may be going on needs a quick kind of resolution or quick, diagnosis and movement forward.
It may also mean that that's what's going to happen here, is that you'll either start recovering quickly from whatever it is you're going through, or there will be a quick diagnosis. And I'm not so sure how quick you'll recover. This is interesting. You've got the Six of Swords here. I want you to know that this is very positive for healing. And so is the final card in a way. But the Six of Swords here is saying that you are going to be moving to much calmer situation health-wise. Things are going to settle back down. Hopefully get back to normal, or some new normal, but things will settle down.
In some sense, movement may be part of the plan for your healing. So it may be suggested that you need to live in a different environment, or that you need to move to a different state somehow in your mind or in your routine. So for example, if you were a heavy laborer, this might say you need to make a transition to something that doesn't do that. So something like that could also be part of this.
And there's a recovery,
There's a recovery.
there is a recovery after possible, like I said, if you've had surgery. See, I see they're all sword cards.
Yeah, so this
And
does
so
look like it could be that.
I can't rule out that maybe a condition might pop up where you may need a procedure, whether it's really invasive like a surgery or not. But I get the feeling that may be the case. If you're worried about something, I think that you're going to be in a good place when all is said and done. And the Lenormand, the book and the bear, indicates to me that you will find out some news that will be very empowering to you, or whatever treatment plan or thing that they tell you about is going to bring you back to your full strength again. Because that's the bear. The bear is strong. The bear is physically strong as well as materially strong. So
Now,
it's a
the
good
book
card.
could be representative of the idea that maybe the doctor's plans, or your treatment's plans, and so this may be saying that there's going to be various therapies that they want you to take. Maybe it's a vitamin or nutrition therapy or something like that. But these things that you will be doing or finding out about doing will lead you to become a stronger person again.
Yeah, I think this is looking really positive. So if you're concerned about something and worried, I think that things are going to settle down.
By all means, come back and tell us again more or ask us again more about it.
Yeah, we'd love to follow up on it if needs be. I wish you luck with this.
Good luck, Nana.
Looking pretty good.
All right.
All right, we're on Zach.
Hi, Zach, friend from Toronto. You're welcome. Good luck. We ask the spirits of health and life. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to Zach's
May I
question.
ask for a reading to understand my position in life at this moment? Have to go forward without mom by my side. God love her. Grateful.
Well, we are sorry for that, whatever that means,
We are very sorry for that, Zach. If she is on the other side, at some point, maybe this is too early, but, if you need to ask for a message from her, we can try to do that for you. But right now, let's take a look at where this leaves you in life. You can always come back to the show and ask for that when you're ready.
So the first
What?
card is the upright two of coins,
What just happened here?
and then we have the eight of coins
Upright?
upright.
I like it.
And then we have the eight of wands upright.
Wow. But wait, wait,
So
wait. What was I just telling Zach? What was I just talking about? I was saying,
if she was on the other side, you could have a message. So, Zach, just curious, but we got the coffin. So, did your mother pass away? Letter. Okay, so she may actually be attempting to contact you, or you may expect to hear from her in the future. That's literal, but I think the Lenormand may have another meaning too. But that could be a
oh,
literal meaning there. Those two tiles right there, the letter and the coffin. Did you want to say anything?
well, I'll get to that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's so strange that I pulled that. Um, okay, I have to say here that, well, it just seems like everything is really positive in this reading going forward. This might have been a real, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I was just.
Sorry.
Go
This
ahead.
might be a real blow for you, but it shows you working on your balance in your life, keeping your life together, keeping everything together, holding your own. Now, if you're on your own, you feel that way, without your mom. It's time to figure out how to make things feel balanced again with that loss, after that loss. And you can do it, though. You can work on this. And it seems as though things will start falling into place. You have a lot of energy and motivation, and maybe you're not feeling that right now. I think here, what you're going to need to do to kind of move yourself forward through this is to focus on one thing at a time. Focus all this energy and drive that you may have, and maybe nervous energy if you're going through emotional upset. Try to channel it in a constructive way and focus it on important things now that are left for you to do, left for you here on this planet to do.
I think your position in life going forward is really positive and strong. The feeling
Yeah.
of these cards seem to say to me that in whatever ways your mother or someone else or all of them together have prepared for them not being in your life anymore. I don't know if this means a monetary inheritance, but it seems to me like something tells me you're going to be receiving something, or you have something after the fact that will give you strength or position. I don't think that is necessarily the explicit meaning of the cards. It's just what it fills me with. But this does seem to be characteristic of skills or resources or things that you have that are positive and can help you. Maybe that's bequeathed from her in some way, somehow. The Eight of Wands, like Banshee mentioned, suggest incredible amount of energy and the need to put it towards a focus or a target. Even like she says, if you don't have that right now, this can come to you. You just need to maybe spend more time with yourself thinking about where you feel you should go.
And Zach, if you are a student, okay, this is saying focus on your studies, focus your energy on being the being finishing your degrees, whatever you may be working on. It may also be focusing on a talent or a skill, an ability that you can really immerse yourself into and perfect. And I think here it will help balance you, in this time which seems a little bit turbulent and unsettled for you, but you can handle it. You have more strength behind you than you realize with this earthy energy here and this fire energy. I like this. I really think this is a very powerful reading. When I look at that Lenormand here, now, of course, we don't know the situation. So, again, if she is on the other side, I think she will be in touch with you. You may have dreams, you may get messages. And as I've said, if you want us to try to get a message in the future, we can try that. But I think here, I don't even know if maybe this is a message from her, in a way. She has confidence that you could do this. So it's all good. I mean, I think it's all really, really good.
All right.
And I wish you luck going forward.
Come visit us again. And Ari is up with her very interesting question.
Yes, if her mom will mind if she ends up with this, if
What her
Avery ends up with
reaction
this
would be and stuff.
vegetarian, if she would mind if she found out this person was in prison, or how would she react, right? Something like that.
Yes, it was about the reactions.
See, I remember some of the questions. All right,
How would she react?
it's my deck. Hmm.
I know this is kind of gauche, but just have him steal something really nice for her.
What?
Tell her a year later. Oh, remember that thing we gave you on your last birthday?
Ari, just ignore him. Oh my goodness. Hey, you're welcome, Nada.
You're welcome. And of course, don't forget to watch Banshees, Material Matters,
Oh,
Sunday
Jenny
mornings,
still is there.
10 a.m. We're live in the chat room for this recorded material. It's a reading for every sign of the zodiac, 3 cards indicating what's going on in your personal economy for the week ahead. It's good information, and we have a lot of fun in our chat room, so check it out. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. What is this? Oh,
It's Ari.
yeah. For some reason, I thought it had to be my cards. No, but I need the Lenormand back, don't I? I
Yeah,
did
because
do
we
that.
drew those Lenormand last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa! It's over, Ari. I'm just kidding. It's the dramatic death card, but we'll talk about that.
Angel, death angel.
The Nine of Swords, reverse, upright. I'm
This is your
sorry.
mom.
I think
Why'd
so.
you do this to me?
And the Knight of Pentacles, upright. Huh.
You're like a bat, just fly away.
Anyway,
Keep sharp objects away from her when you guys are all together. It's the scythe.
wow.
She's going to say, go fish. Go fish for
Well,
someone else.
oh my gosh.
We're sorry. We're having a little fun with this, though.
Well, Ari, I think some of your worries may be justified. I feel here that once she finds out, she is going to be really nervous and anxious, and worried about what maybe you have gotten yourself into. And, she may want to put an end to it. She might want to say, you need to
Big
not,
change.
yeah, you need to change course. I'm feeling that that's what she's thinking about this here. Now,
It's the Knight of Pentacles.
well, I'm wondering here, it's just a feeling I have that maybe, this might be her initial reaction upon hearing it. But maybe if you stick to your guns and you really like the Sagittarius and everything
And it's working
seems
out.
good and on the up and up, in time, she might be able to change, slowly come around. She might slowly be able. Do you getting that too?
That's what I'm getting to. Yep. Bam.
Bam! We got that one. But slowly able to come around.
I feel that way too. I feel that, the initial news is a shock of great change in magnitude, and she feels she has to change this. And then there's maybe the idea that she can't change it, and so she feels bad about that. But eventually she works through it and you're going to have to help her with it, Ari, of course. And it'll be a slow struggle, and mostly what she'll need to see is you two, if this is how it's happening, are working together, slowly moving towards your eventual, relationship and marriage, and she will come to accept it. Um,
I don't know here your family situation, anything about you. I had two bad thoughts with the scythe and the fish.
Filet.
And I wonder if she's going to threaten to cut you off financially in some way.
Oh,
So, in other words, inheritance or
right,
whatever
trying
here.
to
Because
control you that way.
sometimes, that psych is aggressive. And I just got that feeling that she would try to at least take some
We also
aggressive.
have those swords.
And also, if it's not that, my other thought was that she may be aggressively trying to get you to cut this off on numerous occasions. So, like family dinners, taking the Sagittarian to family events,
Getting people to gang up with her.
it could be tricky, for a while. But I have a feeling in time she would come around.
Now, something to note is that this figure of death does not have a scythe or a sickle in its hands. Unlike most depictions, it's on a little delicate looking creature and it's an angel. So it is the idea of the brighter side of change, that sometimes
Yeah,
change will move towards that eventual brighter situation. And of course, that is, over the long term, perhaps.
yeah. So that's what I think is happening here. So I would expect it to be,
Not good at first.
a little overwhelming for her for at first and for a while, but she may come around at some I think she will come around at some point with this.
I do too.
Slow and steady progress, baby steps with your mom. Good luck with that,
Good luck,
Erie.
Aaron. You're welcome. Appreciate that. Okay, fire spawn is up.
Yep.
Hey, I get it. I when I was young, I knew lots of moms that were like that with their daughters, so it's just the way life is. Fire spawn. You asked us a question too, didn't you? It was about, let's see if I can scroll back to that. Maybe you didn't. Did you ask it since?
Yeah, go ahead and post your question, Fire Spawn. There
There
it
it
is.
is. Thank you. Oh, it's about Hugo, right?
Sam.
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 Oops. Hugo was somebody else. I'm sorry. Sorry, sorry. All right. So I'm going to use my relatively new Any Means Necessary tarot. It's a little bit goth.
Okay. I just wanted to read it over.
What does Sam secretly expect to happen with this connection he feels with you? That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. But I was reading the background. Oh, back again? What? Hmm. Depends what we get. Which one is that again?
It's called the By Any Means Necessary. They're kind of anarchist site. All right, our first card is the reverse Nine of Wands. And this is what Sam secretly expects to happen with the connection he feels, because he's sort of hiding his feelings. And this is a perfect depiction of that. The reversed Page of Wands. They're all reversed, sadly, but this one's a good one reversed. It's the reversed Three of Swords Of course, we have to read this in
Ay,
relationship to Sam's point of view.
wait a minute.
Okay, it's the child and the goldfish. Okay.
I just don't know about this reading.
Sam may be unsure at times, not as confident that he's in the right position, that he's prepared enough in certain respects. So it's not like he's totally unconfident. He just may have some moments where he feels that way. He's not always as sure of himself, maybe.
I think what he's worried about and expects to happen for some reason is defeat or failure here, that things aren't going to work out for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why. I don't know whether he's had a bad experience that's maybe made him feel somewhat defeatist, but it's almost as if he feels like, he can't win.
He has doubts.
I don't know what he's trying to win exactly, but he can't win. And when I look at
Page
the
of
the
Wands.
Page of Wands, um, it's again, it's almost as if he's afraid that this good beginning is not going to work out.
A part of that could be how he articulates himself too, that he realizes he doesn't like to talk about himself a lot or explain himself. And you mentioned that he's secretive. This may just be something really ingrained with him, and so he has to sort of be coaxed to open up or feel really comfortable before he gets to that point, maybe.
Now, the Three of Swords is kind of where I'm feeling a little bit ambiguous here. Um, is he recovering from some emotional pain? If not, I feel here that this could be just saying, um,
He is very shy, you say.
he's very shy. Okay. It just seems as though
This could be generalistic then in the sense that he has a life of sort of feeling like he doesn't make it emotionally in some relationships. And so this could be in general that he sort of feels he's always trying to heal from, his emotional insecurities or feelings.
yeah, I don't know. I feel that that three's got to mean something else.
Okay.
I think that maybe there's a chance here, that maybe he feels he can overcome the odds. He feels, when I'm looking at those first two cards, for some reason, I think he feels that the odds are stacked against him, in moving something forward with you. But he may get to the point of feeling that he can overcome that.
Well, maybe the overall progression of the cards is that he hopes or thinks it may take him a while to really be able to
Maybe feel
express
comfortable.
himself more. Like he's just really going to flounder a little bit. And that could be a shy pattern person too. The insecurities. Um, we have the child in the Lenormand, and generally that may be talking about somebody that wants to move slowly, deliberately, that they may feel progress arrives in a very measured manner.
Right, success and abundance of, joy comes from taking it slow to this person. I have to agree with that. I was wondering where I was going to go with that, but as soon as you said it, it
So
just
it
makes
could be
sense.
that you just have to be prepared for things moving slowly and that you have to, do things that don't make him feel more shy or more aware of his shyness, things. And, nobody wants to necessarily be a cheerleader for somebody who's dealing with that. But, little things can help, to
Well,
buoy his confidence or
definitely no pressure, because when you see the Nine of Swords reversed, I think of somebody who might feel too pressured. And so, but that doesn't mean that you're the one pressuring them. Those pressures could be inside of them,
yeah,
that they feel like they have to act a
other
certain way or move quickly or move slowly.
other people or circumstances in his life, that he deals with.
I'm talking about internal pressures.
Right.
But
But I'm
I
just saying
understand
that
what you're saying
there could
too.
be things that are not your pressure.
This is just like a real smorgasbord of stuff here. And you know, with the reversals, all I can say is there may be a window of hope here with that Three of Swords. It's not the best card to get under these circumstances, but I do feel here that this person really's got to come out of their shell and they've got to believe in the relationship and in themselves in order for their, you know, for this to move forward. I'm not sure, you know, what they're feeling right now, other than a lot of maybe internal anxiety.
Right, that's what I feel too, Firespawn. It's not about you, but
That's
it does impact.
it could affect your. It definitely is affecting. I think your connection.
Well,
So
bless you guys, you know.
I don't see anything that's warding me off from this person,
Right.
but take your time with them because they just either are real slow movers to begin with. They just lack confidence a lot of their lives in romantic situations, or they've been burned before and it's really left a mark, you know?
You're welcome.
So
And yeah,
wish
they
you
were
luck
kind
with
of
that.
interesting. Thank you. All right, Garima's up. All righty. That's going to be your cards. And let me scroll back to her question.
You're welcome, Fire Spawn. All right.
Okay, so Garima asks, I recently decided to gently express my feelings to Nicole. Can develop, or she's still interested in her boyfriend, and that relationship will continue. So basically, based on, you know, their conversation, does it change anything, or will she still, you know, move on in her present relationship? I guess that's how it's being asked.
I'm going to read it. Okay.
And if I recall right, Nicole's the one who maybe gave you some feelings, but then sort of mentioned the boyfriend. So it sort of is a back and forth thing, perhaps. And can your connection develop? Yes. Yeah, we get that. Well, cool. Good luck, of course. And you're in Toronto area too, like somebody else from tonight. Hey, Kyle.
Oh, okay, Kyle.
Oh, good. You haven't read it yet, so you're not gonna give us the kiss of death or something. No, we're teasing. It was an interesting reading, that's for sure.
It's kind of yeah. You tell us what you think when you see it.
Boy, if I didn't have to live in where I live at, I would love to live in Toronto.
I just love to be in Canada right now. That's for sure.
Okay, and so you're saying Nicole didn't react much, so you're wondering about how that went. Alrighty, and I need the Lenormand. Here they are.
Well, the Page of
Death
Wands,
becomes you.
the
I'd like
Page of Wands is upright.
Page of Wands. Okay, that's nice.
The Six of Cups is reversed.
Oh, good. I'm glad you weren't there when problems were happening.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think the media is overblowing a really small part of LA is what it sounds like, though. Anyway, we're not getting political tonight.
The Sun is upright.
So these are some kind of interesting cards here. And let me pull the Lenormand. All right. Anchor and the fonts. What was this middle one? Is that the two?
No, that's the Six of Cups reversed.
Okay. I know it was cups. Okay.
That is Six of Cups. Yeah.
Right. Thank
I
you.
was thinking it was Six of Wands for some reason, but it is
No, I
not.
thought it was cups. Yeah. Let me
It
look
is.
at it again to
No,
be
it
sure.
is.
Yep.
All right. Well, okay.
So how did Nicole take it, and does it change your connection?
Oh, well, I'm hoping that maybe this is positive, that maybe your communication may be initiating something more positive. I want to believe that. Six of Cups really bothers me here reversed. I'm not sure what it is. Um, if she is harboring any kind of bad feelings for you from the past, that could be a problem here. Um, that she might be weighting that against whether she wants to move forward with you or not. It could also be that maybe something from her past she's going to be more willing to let go of now because it's not healthy for her. Could that be her boyfriend? Maybe.
Well, that's funny. I agree with this. I think that the Page of Wands is a good sign that the communication was well received and maybe will indicate going forward. I do think this is maybe something about her past. I didn't necessarily think it was the boyfriend, though that was an interesting idea there. I just thought that maybe her past and how she viewed relationships of the past may have an impact on where she sees she's going. So, in other words, other relationships that may have been similar enough that either worked better or didn't, may be impacting her feelings.
But honestly, then we have the sun in the picture here. And the sun
It's
indicates to me
nice.
that something good could come of this.
Yes.
I mean, the sun is a positive sign of success. So if you're hoping that Nicole might be coming around to this, she may. Um, that's
Nicole sounds really guarded at times, and maybe it's because she's in a relationship of sorts, and so she feels a sense of propriety. But the sun is even good for the possibility of relationships.
I think here what's going to be the deciding fast factor is, as to whether she stays with her boyfriend or decides to be with you, Garima, is who she's attracted to more physically. I hate to say that, but
Okay.
I think that's going to be a part of this.
The anchor and the
The
fox.
fox, the fox is a funny creature here in this deck. It can mean a lot of different things. It can mean sneakiness and craftiness. It can mean employment and work. It can also mean a sexy person, somebody who's very much into sensual pleasures. And so I'm feeling here, seeing this by the anchor, I'm feeling that, and because the question is related to relationships here, that this is about who they're more physically attracted to.
If it's not totally physical attraction, it could just be the overall idea of what the relationship inspires in them too. And so that could be different things between, either of you or anyone else that might be in the picture too. So I do feel Banshee's got the note there too that from Nicole's point of view, she wants to stay with what she feels works for her, the cleverness angle, and also that idea of, maybe attractiveness. So those are just from her point of view. They don't necessarily mean anything about where your connection could be going. Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, I get that. And
Okay.
I think here this might have a positive outcome for you one way or another. I really do think it was good to try to make that move from what I'm seeing here. It's up to her, her own tastes and desires that I think will determine this. I think you've done, what you can here, and you could possibly expect good results from this. The sun is a real positive card. I think just the idea that you communicated and allowed your some of your feelings to, be out there now in the light of day, maybe a good thing.
That's a good way to put it, Garima, that, it's about her comfort zone too.
Yeah.
And so that's something that maybe we totally can't get a handle on. You might because you actually do have some amount of interaction with her. But yeah, that may be what it is that she has to decide what makes her really feel comfortable and stuff.
Well, I think it's looking more positive. You've had some readings that weren't quite there. I think this definitely was a good move on your part. how it plays out, I'm not certain, but I think that you should feel good about doing that. So I hope
Well,
it turns out well for you. I'm seeing a
it, it's
positive
a good outcome with the
outcome
sun.
here. So I hope it works out. You'll have to keep us posted. Good
Yeah.
luck with that.
All right, Garima. And that means we're on Paisley.
Yep, Paisley, you are up. Let me have my
I know, and we don't totally either. It seems like it's good stuff here. It
well,
does.
you know, there'll be ways that you can tell. There'll certainly be ways going forward. You know, if she doesn't contact you, I don't know who usually calls each other. You know, if she calls you as much as you contact her, whatever the case may be, how she talks and if she's trying to avoid you, stuff like that. You know, you'll get signals now, one way or another. Or if she's more open now with you and she feels more relaxed now knowing what she knows. So I guess, you know, you're going to have to see what happens from here. It's always nerve-wracking, right?
And we'll
No
want to
matter,
know.
you know, what kind of relationship, it's
And we'll
always
want to know.
nerve-wracking. So good luck with that.
All right, Paisley, do we have your question? I'm looking for it.
You're welcome, Garima.
You are very
Take
welcome.
care.
Good to see you. Ah, there it is. It's the relationship with Hugo. We'll have a reconciliation or not. Is that your cards?
Um,
No, it's mine, right?
it's yours.
All righty. It is mine. So I will use the Barbie Airy Tarot.
Okay, and we'll have to do a yes, no if it's not.
Right, if it's vague at all, we'll do a yes or no, Paisley. LOL, I know. So will you and Hugo have a reconciliation? Let me look at that one more time.
Oh boy, two are stuck together, and I'm going to take them. And we're in my hand.
Well, if that's what you'd like, I want that for you too, then, of course.
Interesting. Oh, I think the battery died on this now, too.
Oh,
No, there it goes a little bit. Yeah, I think it's dying. Let's get batteries for this one now, doggone it. I bet you these are double A's. Oh, I hope they're not, though. I hope they're triple A's. All right.
Uncle O, Uncle Obi. I like that. All right, first card is Ten of Pentacles, and it's upright. I like that. The next card is the reversed Wheel of Fortune. And the final card is the upright Eight of Cups.
Okay. Ten of Pentacles upright, middle,
Wheel of Fortune reverse.
reversed.
And Eight of Cups upright.
Ooh. Oh, wait, that's the second one.
Okay.
That was the first one.
So there's the crossroads, which kind of goes with that Wheel of Fortune, eh? And the tree, which also could go with the Wheel of Fortune in a way.
Yeah, it seems like things still are hanging in the balance a little bit here. I have to say, Paisley. Um,
Ten of Pentacles upright.
the Ten of Pentacles upright is good.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like, you know, there is some type of, there could be some kind of coming back together. Now, I don't know if somebody can intervene, you know, might intervene in this in some way, family or something like that, their family, your family. But it does seem as though there's something that can connect you both back together. But it just seems as though it's not going to happen soon. The Wheel of Fortune says the time is not right now. It's just like things are still teetering on edge. And why? What is that card again?
Eight of Cups.
The Eight of Cups is upright. Somebody is thinking of moving on, which is worrisome. Somebody is thinking, is it time to move on? They're kind of, you know, at that point now of having a little bit of a sense of should I stay or should I go? And that's really what I'm feeling here too with the Lenormand. We'll get to that.
Okay, I had to think about this for a little bit, Paisley, because I was getting some misleading symbols, but I think the Ten of Pentacles could indicate that on some level you may have a friendship of some sort, at least in the beginning, or a friendship may develop. There's something here that just sort of feels like it'll be solid, but it may not have emotional weight that you're looking for, or at least not originally. And the reversed Wheel of Fortune does seem to indicate that there's some unexpected things happening that maybe don't necessarily go totally towards good or bad, but maybe just sort of keep you on your toes a little bit with addressing some of the issues of what you're talking about, or just maybe providing a sense of cover between either of you. You're not, your wheels aren't aligning. So this is sort of looking like it's not a permanent condition, but like maybe this is about getting back into alignment to some degree. And yeah, I like what Banshee said there. I actually wonder if this is more likely you realizing that maybe they might be a friend or a connection of some sort, but you may want to move on because you realize there's something better for you. I don't know what the
Yeah.
time schedule is. I don't think it's very
We
immediate,
might
but
want to do a yes no to
yeah, I think
see.
we will.
I think because when I look at the Lenormand, the tree and the crossroads seems to indicate to me that growth is questionable right now. Which way it's going to go, which way it's going to
Yeah.
grow. And I really feel it's contingent with that Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is about karma and fate. And is it your fate and destiny to get back with this person again? I'm not certain. I think it's still uncertain. And I think it's because one or both of you have been toying with the idea you really want him back. I can see that. So I'm wondering if it's Hugo, if it's time to move forward, if it's time to move on. Um, and oh, what is that again?
Ten of Pentacles.
Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles. It's kind of throwing me a little bit that card because, well, a lot of times the Ten of Pentacles talks about long-term things. Um, Maybe what this is saying is somewhere further down the road, there might be a possibility for reconciliation, but I think you really have to decide how long you're willing to wait. So let's
I'm
do the
going to use a different
Lenormand,
deck.
right? Not Lenormand. Let's do the yes
Yes,
no
no.
and see what we can come up with
So I'm
here.
going to use a different deck for
Yeah.
that so I can leave those cards there.
Okay.
And we'll let Auntie Banshee shuffle two.
Thank you. Auntie Banshee. Banshee.
I understand. I understand what you're saying there. That Ten of Pentacles makes me feel like maybe they want the status quo to be you know each other, but there's nothing of great emotional value going on, but there's a connection. It's more based on practical things. This doesn't say it couldn't change necessarily, though. This is now. Okay, so we are turning over just the top card, and depending on what it is, we think the answer is, and it's a major arcana. So
Justice reversed. So that means good luck. Oh my gosh, it's totally ambiguous again.
totally
I
ambiguous,
really feel
because
like,
that's what it looks like.
it's up to the fates almost if something can pull you back together again. Because it just seems like, justice reversed too is a card of things out of balance. Things are just not. gelling yet. They're not clicking. They're not coming together. So I think Hugo is not coming back right away. And you have to decide what you want to do about that.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, but that's what it seems
Yeah.
like is we can't really tell that it will change soon or not. The pattern sort of seems like it's going to hold for a while.
Yeah. So if there's been no contact, for example, that may continue. So I wish I had better news for you, though, but that's what we see. Good luck with that. That's what the cards have given us today. All right, that's it. That was the last reading, right?
That was our last reading.
20 minutes before we close. I'm just going to ask Naya, did you come back? Are you here? If you are, I'll read right now for you. But if you're not, if you don't answer, we will have to
And
shut
I'm
down.
pretty sure Naya's opposite us on the planet and maybe can't stay up real late or has other things that might have to happen. So we appreciate you showing up. But in general, we want everybody
To get
uh,
a reading.
to get a reading
And so leave
and
your question.
leave your question.
And we'll be happy to
That's
read for you. You
all
can
there
look it
is
up
to it.
later.
That's all there is to it. So
Yeah,
please, please,
exactly.
please watch my show tomorrow because, well, watch it at
Mister,
midnight if
you
you
put a
want.
lot of work into it.
I put a lot of work into separating all those readings so that you don't have to wade through, all of the signs before you get to yours. You could just bop right on it. It should say it, what the sign's reading is, and let me know if you like it. But the regular show will also be on tomorrow too, just a little bit later, and it will be timestamped so you can still navigate around to where you want to go. And that's pretty much it for us, I guess. We have happy hour on
We
Saturday.
do. And join us for a positive message, Fat Happy Hour. We all could use that. And this Saturday, if you're in the U.S., it's going to be quite the day of protest. So maybe you want to get happy in the morning before
It can't
everything
hurt.
goes crazy that
It
day.
can't hurt. And
So,
I was glad Garima mentioned that she was out in LA. And I mentioned that, I thought it was the media overblown, and she agreed with that. So I like that, because I think, the media should be telling the truth, period.
yeah. Well, it's tough to find the truth these days, all the way around.
Yes.
I want to thank
So come
everybody.
to
But
us.
come to us because we're going to tell no lies. We're going to tell you what we think the cards are saying. We may stumble and try to figure it out, but you know what? It's pretty it's pretty cut and dry usually, and we love to share wisdom with you. So thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. We had a great show tonight. Last week was really quiet. This
Yeah.
week we picked up again, and we appreciate you coming back for more.
And we'll see you on Saturday if you come.
Yep, and we'll see you on Sunday if you come then. So take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Take care.